are you doing? Hope you're staying safe during these quarantine days. Yes, this is my quarantine hair. I tied it up in a ponytail today. Just, look at how long it got. I'm overdue for a haircut like most of us are. So I don't know what's keeping you guys busy during these times. Let me know in the below comments. I'm very interested to see what kind of new hobbies or so you guys picked up. Today I figured I'll pop up on here and show you guys how to make this cute card. It just says, snap, click, say cheese, and then inside it says capture the good times. Oh, sorry, that's probably backwards on camera. But yeah, it's pretty good for a lot of different, I'd say, occasions. And what I realized I didn't show you guys back then was how to make matching envelopes, because they give the recipient a good sneak peek as to what's inside. It makes you excited when you see a very pretty looking envelope. So let's get started. Okay, so before we begin, can I just say how adorable this grid paper is? I bought it just because it's so cute and the little dogs. Okay, so if you haven't already, please follow my social media accounts on Instagram or Facebook at Judy Lee Creations. I also have a blog, judyleecreations.ca, and you can shop with me to get any of the products you like today at judylee.stampinup.net using my May hostess code. And today's card, of course, we will be making this one. Now, in my past videos, I haven't shown you how to make a matching envelope, so we will include that in today's video as well. It's always nice to have a matching envelope so the recipient can get a sneak peek as to there's something special inside. So some of the materials you'll need today to make this card is Whisper White cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4. You will also need a Whisper White cardstock at 3 1/4 inches by 4 1/2 inches. Designer series paper. This designer series paper originally comes in 6 by 6 inches. We'll cut it down in the video and I'll show you how to do that to the measurements that we need. You'll also need Highland Heather ink pad. So this coordinates with the cards with the designer series paper, DSP as we call it. So any designer series paper that you're using, just use a coordinating stamp ink pad. We'll also be using basic gray to stamp the camera. Some acrylic blocks to mount on your stamps. Today we are using block E for the big camera, and I'm also using 2 block C's. We'll also be using the frosted and clear epoxy droplets. I'll be using the clear one today. The Capture the Good stamp set. So this is, I believe it's retiring. We'll be using the camera image, snap, click, say cheese, and capture the good times. This will be the sentiment inside. You can also alternate it up and use these other ones. So let's begin. Oh yes, adhesives, almost forgot about that. So Stampin' Up! Dimensionals or Stampin' Dimensionals. These are pretty much foam mounts. If you don't have any of these and you have alternatives, you could use that. It's just to pop this up so that it gives more interest. And snail adhesive. Oops. Clumsy as always. Alrighty, so let's get started. So let's cut down the designer series paper first. I'm gonna move this out the way and bring in my paper trimmer. If you hear some sniffling, I am sorry, it's allergy seasons for me. And let's see my measurements here. We are cutting it down to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So one thing to note on this is if it's a directional designer series paper, you want to make sure you're cutting it the right direction. This is just polka dots, so I don't have to worry too much. And what did I say? It was 4 inches. So the light one is for scoring, the dark one is for cutting. Sorry if you hear my family. And we're gonna save this later because this is what we're gonna use to decorate the envelope flap. And 5 1/4 right here. So we're also gonna save this too because then we're gonna decorate the inside of the card so that it matches the outside. Nothing goes to waste. Okay, put that aside. Now let's mount this to the card base. Okay. So we're going to nail adhesive. It's pretty much tape runner if you have any tape runner at home. I tend to run out of my tape runner pretty quickly. Okay, always make sure that your flap's opening the right way. And I'm gonna try to use the grid paper to help me line this up here. Let's see if that helps. And to eyeball everything. Okay. Now let's put that aside and we're going to work on this piece here. So we're going to take basic gray. And our ink, our camera stamp. So if this block is too big for you to hold, the easier alternative is taking the ink pad and tapping it onto the stamp like this. You don't have to push it all the way down, just tap it lightly, and then every time you take it up, make sure you're covering it evenly with the ink. If you see some spots with no ink, just go over it. Very lightly tap, don't push. Okay, I think that's a good coverage. Okay, let's close this up before I get my hands in it and everywhere. So on the card, we kind of have it off, stamped a bit off. So I'm just going to freehand this and try, let's see. Right about there. This is why we have the grid paper underneath, because it's going to get onto whatever is underneath. And if it's just your bare table, you kind of don't want to stamp your table. Press it down a bit. I like to hold it for a little bit so the ink sinks onto the paper. As you can tell, this is my fresh grid paper, so this will be the first ink spot on the grid paper. Almost done. I'm gonna clean off my stamp. It's always good practice to clean off your stamp right after using it. Okay, so now we're gonna stamp snap, click, and say cheese in Highland Heather. Here it is. Now you could do it straight, you could do it diagonal, however you like. I'm just freehand stamping this. And stamp. Okay, and while we have the purple ink out, clean my stamp. Let's stamp the inside of the card and the envelope. So I'm going to set this aside and stamp the inside of the envelope. The inside of the card. Capture the good times. So you can see I'm trying to be very careful with the ink so I don't get it everywhere. Capture the good times. put the stamp straight on the block, so I kind of have to eyeball this. I think that's about straight. Yep. And we're gonna stamp the camera on this with the same ink pad on the envelope. Oh, I didn't take out a blank envelope though. Let me just grab that 1 second. So that's another thing you kind of need, a blank envelope. I've got to make sure I didn't do it take it out upside down. Okay, so that's the right side and the camera. Pink it up. I think that's well inked. This, and I'm going to line it kind of off to the side. Press it down. Make sure you apply even pressure so that we get a good image. Okay, clean off the stamp. So I'm going to set the envelope aside and let's go back to the card. We're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Now I know I say this a lot, but remember, if you're mailing it, you're probably going to want to put more dimensionals than necessary, because you don't want your card to sag or, like, you know, not look pretty after putting so much work into it, because we all know how gently handled they are in the mailing system. I think I'm kind of doing an overkill, but oh, there goes my sheet. Now I'm going to save this to use the edge in parts so it doesn't go to waste. Yep, I kind of did an overkill, but oh well, let's see. Come on here. I always forget to take out my tools. Like, I have them, I just don't know why. It's a force of habit. So you could do this with any color you have or any DSP that you have. It's just in a purple mood today, so figured, you know what, let's do it in purple. So I'm gonna line this up here as I chatter. Kind of using the polka dots to help me kind of line it up or kind of straighten it out. I think about there. Okay. Press it down to make sure it sticks. Now, the embellishes. So you can stick this wherever you like. It was very random alignment for me. I was just like, oh, okay, circle here. I kind of want to be funky and put that there. Couldn't decide between there or there, but for this card I was like, okay, what the heck. And then I just tossed one here. Again, I could have used a tool to make this easier. Ooh. And one there. And almost done. Now that those scraps of DSP, remember, we don't have to waste this. Now you can use it to use on a different card, making a different simple card. I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna use it to make everything on this card kind of match. So I'm gonna put this down here, trying to make it as straight as possible. I'm just eyeballing it here. Now, if you're making these cards to sell, you will need to put the copyright by Stampin' Up! On the back to pretty much follow their angel policy. You can find more about their policy online. If you're just making it to give away to family and friends, you don't need to. However, I like to stamp it on each and every card anyways. It kind of helps with, you know, I guess self-promotion or so, like, oh, who made this card? It's so cute. You never know whose hands it's going to get into. Okay, I'm gonna throw that away first for a sec. Now, the reason why I cut the DSP that way was so that this matches this and the inside perfectly, so it doesn't go to waste. I should have put this on the envelope, huh? Alrighty, so I'm gonna try to line this up to the edge here, the folding edge, because we're gonna trim it. Now you're gonna need some scissors. I just grabbed my adhesive scissors since it's nearby. And then just follow the edge here. I can't believe it, I'm struggling with cutting. Can you believe that? Okay, and there you have it, folks. Was it this one? No, this one right here that we just made. A very simple card that you can make. Now, if you don't have any of these products or some of these products, you can always substitute it out for something else that you do have. Let's say for the embellishments, if you don't have the epoxy dots, you can use the regular rhinestones that you have. Whatever you have, if you're not able to place an order or anything at the moment. If you don't have them, feel free to use my hostess code and make a purchase online. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. And thank you. Hope to see you all here soon. Thanks. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.